Baylor fell over the weekend at TCU by 6. Baylor in the alternate gray, Iowa State in the road Cardinal, and the Bears control the opening tip.
Pay attention to this. You have Lipsy on Cam Carr. That'll be a matchup that we need to watch, especially with the way that Lipsy defends.
The tie, jacks a 3, around and out, and Jefferson claims his first rebound, coming off that triple-double effort against the Mountaineers last time he hit the floor. Momcilovic gets his first touch, falling away. Baylor pushing. Yesufu, inside out 3, way long, and it's rebounded by Iowa State.
And those are the threes that you have to be able to knock down against this aggressive defense.
Jefferson pulls the trigger. It's off the mark. Offensive rebound for the Cyclones. Middle of the pack in the Big 12 on the offensive glass. Baylor leads the conference in that department. 8 to shoot. Buchanan, one-on-one in the post. Double clutch, miss. Rebound, tapped around. Jefferson takes it away.
I thought Buchanan might have gotten away with the foul right there, but that was impressive defense by Ratai.
Jefferson, all strength. Tapped out of bounds, Baylor basketball. 90 seconds in, nobody has scored.
And right now, Iowa State has the size advantage over Baylor. Baylor's not a very big team. They bring their centers off of the bench, but right now with Ratai at that 5 spot, they give up the size advantage, but you saw the heart and the toughness right there that they're playing with.
Baylor, one of just 9 Division I teams with 0 returners from last year's squad. Nine to shoot, Yesufu. A long way from the cylinder. Carr has to hoist, and he's fouled on a 3.
And Baylor got bailed out right there, James. I mean, you run about 28 seconds of offense, and you get no type of dribble penetration. However, when Cam Carr can rise up above as your Lipsy, you have to be smarter than that. You know that he elevates when he shoots. You cannot make contact with the shooter. Just not a smart foul right there by such a high IQ player.
Carr at the line for 3 free throws. Shoots 81% on the year, and Baylor is on the board first with the charity. Now, Cameron Carr averages over 20 points per game. There's his numbers for the season, 21 per night. What makes him such an elite scorer?
He just has that scoring prowess. He has the handle to be able to get by you. He has the shot-making ability, but what I've been most impressed with is how he can shoot it off the bounce. I think that's a skill that a lot of guards do not have, especially in college basketball. But if you can master that, you are so much tougher to guard. And when you're dealing with a guy like Cam Carr, you send him to the free throw line early, James. Now all of a sudden he sees 3 shots go in. Look for him to be ultra-aggressive on the offensive side.
He is 6'5" with a 7'2" wingspan. His dad, Chris, played 6 years in the NBA. Pocket pass and a jam. Thunder from Jefferson.
That's such a good pass right there. You empty out that backside, and when you go off that pick and roll, if there's no tag, Lipsy will always hit the pocket. Good roll.
Iowa State leads the Big 12 in assists, over 19 per outing. Ten to shoot, Ratai goes to work. Agbam. Offensive rebound, Yesufu hits the deck, and an Iowa State foul. Their second team foul.
Let's take a look back at this right here. Good pass, no backside tag. You better not jump when Jefferson is looking to flush it. Good dime, good window. That's such a small window to be able to fit the pass through. But Lipsy is a good passer to do it. And hey, James, let's not get it twisted. Even though Baylor is undersized, they are 4th in the country in offensive rebound percentage.
Yesufu hits the dot from the top. It's a 3.
And that is something that he has not done. Only shooting 22 from 3 in the last 2. If he can knock it down, he takes his Baylor offense to a different level.
His 21st three of the year, 30% from deep. Torre with an alley. He finishes. Kylian Torre, a freshman for Iowa State from France, went scoreless for the first time all year, last time out against West Virginia. Carr, coffin corner. Rataj, Momcilovic fighting for it, and a foul called over the back against Baylor.
And those are the shots that Iowa State will give up. If you can get the ball swung to the opposite side when they put two on the basketball, you will get wide open looks, but you have to be able to knock them down. And we've seen Cam Carr with an open one. We've seen Tunde with the open one. You have to be able to knock those looks that Iowa State give you.
Cold starts on both ends. Iowa State 2 for 6, Baylor 1 for 5 from the floor. Yesufu jumps the route. Lead pass, too far out in front. Was it touched? Yes, it'll stay with Baylor. Our officials, Tony Padilla, Doug Sermons, Marcus Pettigrew, an All-American crew tonight here in Waco.
According to KenPom, this is a top 12 officiating crew. According to KenPom, yes, they are referee ratings on KenPom, and this is a top 12 crew in America.
Two of these three have already officiated over 50 games this season.
Goodness gracious. That's a lot of travel, a lot of games.
Baylor will inbound in front of the Iowa State bench. Isaac Williams IV has entered the lineup for the first time. An impressive sophomore from Oklahoma City. Number 10 in the gray. 10 to shoot. Yesufu, hard hedge, splits the defense to the rack. It sneaks out. Momcilovic, triple teamed, leads to a clean look that's way off the mark. Baylor secures it. Rataj, bumped, and a foul against Iowa State. Our first media timeout. Baylor leads early on here at home.
Momcilovic with a tough bucket, even though it didn't count. I'm sure if it comes down to the same thing, that's who the ball is going to, no doubt, especially with the way he's shooting it.
He has been on an absolute tear. Leads the nation in made threes. Rataj at the line for Baylor, shoots 70% from the stripe. Now these teams are off to cold shooting starts, 29% for Iowa State. Baylor has started 1 for 6. Take us back to your playing days, those first couple of Big 12 games. Does it take some time to settle in?
Yeah, a lot of times when you're playing this caliber of opponent, typically you do have those jitters, those early game jitters, and after you settle in, after you get bumped a few times, or you finally see it go through, then you tend to calm down. As we see this pressure right here, Cam Carr using his wingspan to be able to get the deflection. But I think it's just about settling in, James. You have to settle in these moments, especially when you're playing in big games.
Baylor applying some full court pressure. What's the angle here?
Well, right now when you look at it, there's no Lipsy on the floor, there's no Torre on the floor. So your point guard right now is Bateman. So right now, I don't blame Scott Drew for trying to go out and fully extend his pressure, because see if you can cause a few turnovers with no true point guard being on the floor for Iowa State.
Nate Heisey, the inbounder for the Cyclones. Coach Otzelberger told us at shoot-around he is the X factor tonight for Iowa State off the bench. They need his energy and production. Nine to shoot. Momcilovic has it poked out of bounds. It will stay with the Cyclones with 8 on the timer.
And I think this says a lot about Coach Otzelberger's belief in Joshua Jefferson, letting him be that point forward right now.
Bateman curling. Heisey, floater blocked. Erased by Williams. And he's fouled in backcourt. Already the 4th foul against Iowa State.
And this is what Isaac Williams brings to the table. At that point guard spot, he is sneaky athletic to be able to go get that block right there. When he steps onto the floor, the energy of this Baylor team completely changes and goes to a different level.
Foul went against Dominicus Plata, and that's already his 2nd in limited action. Powell rolling, shovels to Carr, rises up, and the rebound, Iowa State off the miss.
Maybe not the best look right there by Carr, but when you average 21 a game, you have to live with a few bad shots.
Jefferson up and under.
And I think right now Jefferson is going to have to be ultra aggressive. You don't have Lipsy on the floor, so with him playing that point forward spot, I mean, him and Momcilovic is going to have to get going right now with this group.
Run and jump on Williams. Hard pass. Powell against the wall. Jefferson claims it, and he's fouled in backcourt.
And right there, that was an example of the short roll, but let's go back to Jefferson's bucket, because this is so high level. He plays at such a pace in which you can't speed him up. His footwork around the rim is so great, and he has the touch. Joshua Jefferson is just so skilled.
James Najee has checked in for Baylor. Drafted in 2023, never played in the NBA, never signed an NBA contract. Spent some time in the G League and overseas. A foul on the floor. Najee has a new number tonight. He'll wear number 46 here at home. They got him a jersey. He was stuck with number 50 over the weekend at TCU. Just cleared. Coach Scott Drew told us, remember, he hasn't been playing basketball competitively for the last 7 months.
And you can tell in that TCU game, you could tell that his timing was off. He was kind of out of shape. He really couldn't move. But you also saw a lot of good things that he brought to the table.
Torres bumped and fouled on the drive. It's on Skillings Jr., his first, and the 4th Baylor team foul. Iowa State at the line. First visit to the stripe for an Iowa State team that does not shoot a lot of free throws. Fewest in the league, and it spits out no good. Iowa State draws just 16 fouls per game. That is 302nd in the country. They miss them both. A whistle and maybe a lane violation.
Those are the things that just drive coaches crazy. You got 2 missed free throws and you give them a 3rd opportunity because you can't stay disciplined on when to go. That's unacceptable right there.
2 plays come to mind already that Baylor's going to want back. This one here with the lane violation, and then a layup point blank that jumped out from Yesufu. Torre goes 1 for 2 officially. Baylor hasn't made a field goal in almost 4 minutes. The top scoring offense in the Big 12, 93 points per game. Williams driving, up and under, blocked. Out of bounds, Iowa State basketball.
And that might not be the best route to go. Because of the pressure in which Iowa State applies, they do a tremendous job of loading up. So you think you get past Torre, but you have to deal with 2 other defenders at the rim. So when they all collapse, you have to do a good job of kicking out. That's what I was talking about earlier, James. We talk about being a point guard, getting into the lane, making plays for others.
Torre turning the corner. A free run is met at the rim. And an Iowa State foul on the other end.
We gotta go take a look at this because I love the aggression from Torre, but I also love what Cam Carr does. protect the rim at a high level. Guard-on-guard action. I love it right there.
Baylor's top 3 in the league in blocks per game. The length, the athleticism. But they've missed their last 5 shots on this end. Scoring drought of 2.5 minutes. Without a field goal in over 4. Agbam floater, that's nice.
And Agbam isn't a guy who has been scoring it well. Only 6 points last game. Could tonight be the night where he has a big game? Baylor definitely needs it.
Averaging double figures at 11 points per contest. Jefferson into the paint. Off the heel. Buchanan grabbed and fouled.
I just love the pace in which Jefferson plays with. He gets to that mid-paint area, plays off of 2 feet, shimmy shake. Even though he missed it, that was still a high-level move right there. Take a look at this right here. Look how poised he is. Look how patient he is. He's always under control and can get any shot he wants to at any moment. That's what makes him a pro.
In his 2nd year at Iowa State after transferring from St. Mary's, Torres left alone and he splashes a 3. First 3 of the game for the Cyclones.
And that's an area I wish he was better. He doesn't shoot it great from beyond the arc, however. He's more than capable, but defensively he makes up for what he lacks on the offensive side.
Only his 11th made 3 on the season. Agbam draws a crowd. Williams rebuttal off the mark. Najee. Iowa State with the steal. First Baylor turnover. That was the #1 key to victory, according to Coach Drew, for the Bears, taking care of it. Couple of Iowa State misses, and Najee claims it for the Bears. This is a grind so far in Waco. Carr hanging, hitting.
Cam Carr, although he's extremely skinny, has a thin frame, he's not afraid of contact. And that's what you have to love about him. He meets Buchanan at the rim and goes straight through the shot blocker's chest.
6'5", but he plays 6'9" with that length. A block underneath, but a foul against Baylor. Media timeout on the floor. France. Coach told us that they saw him at a camp over in Europe a little over 2 years ago. Stayed on him. Really liked his maturity and defensive effort. He's more polished offensively than they thought he'd be right away. Dominic Nelson at the line goes 1 for 2 for the Cyclones. Carr walled up. Skips to Ratai, who's on the floor with 2 fouls. Iowa State commits their 6th team foul, and this will put Ratai at the stripe.
There's been a few times on this past offensive possession and previous ones where off of the pick and roll, when Iowa State puts 2 on the basketball, the guards of Baylor are not hitting the short roll. They're not trusting the big. Either they're not trusting it or they're not seeing it. However, your offense would have a lot more success if you just get the ball to the short roll and see what the defense does and make them over-commit.
Baylor's made just 2 of their last 10 field goals, but they're cashing in at the foul line. Even with that miss, they're 5 for 6 as a team. Suffocating defense on both ends to start. Momcilovic, a 3 offline. Nelson throws it away. Second Iowa State blunder. And that's where they missed their veteran point guard.
And it's moments like these where Lipsey is so good at just being able to control the game and dictate where the ball should go.
Carr, stop and start, gets around his man, but he can't finish. Jefferson at the controls for the Cyclones. Buchanan spinning, denied by Najee, third Baylor block. Najee on the roll, lost it on the way up. Strong hands by Jefferson, loose ball scramble. Carr attacks, Jefferson rebound. There is a lid on the Baylor basket.
I think this would be a good time to try to get Lipsy back into the ball game.
Nelson up and under, and one.
Ooh. That's a tough move right there by Dominic Nelson. He's always looking to drive, but he gets beat to the spot, pump fake, get into the defender, shoot the ball, get the and one. And let's take a look at Najee's block. This is why he was heavily sought after, because of how he can protect the rim and his timing when it comes to the defensive side of things.
Tamin Lipsey has re-entered King for Iowa State with those 2 fouls.
And with him being a veteran, you're not necessarily worried. You know, some guys, when they're playing, they don't understand how to play with 2 fouls, James. Playing with 2, you have to be smarter. You have to pick your spots of when to be aggressive versus when not to be. And Lipsey is smart enough to be able to play with 2.
Corner 3. Offensive rebound. Powell looking for good footing. As ugly as it's been, Baylor has led wire to wire so far in this first half.
And this Iowa State team does not get off to great starts. They are notorious for getting off to slow starts.
Jefferson. Powell the rebound. Yesufu around the screen. Scooper, no. Powell, another Baylor offensive rebound. In and out the 3 from Agbim. Baylor is 4 for 19 from the floor.
You can see Caden Powell and Michael Rattai's energy when it comes to crashing the glass on the offensive side. Look at the way that they pursue. They don't get it this time, but they're so active on the offensive glass, you always have to be aware of where they are.
Top 10 in the country in offensive rebounds, this Baylor team, with 6 already in this first half. Momcilovic has yet to score for Iowa State. Averages almost 19 per game. Lipsey off a screen, pops out, offensive rebound. 3 bites at the cherry, no. 4th look, Momcilovic, no! Foul against Baylor. Timeout on Iowa State, up to 8 offensive rebounds. They had 3 on this possession that led to a Baylor foul right before the break. So it puts Joshua Jefferson at the line, where he is 75% for the season. He has 4 points already, has 8 rebounds, and he's top 6 in the conference in assists per game. A Swiss Army knife for the number 3 ranked team in the land. Carr banks in a 3. Just the second make for Baylor from beyond the arc. Lipsey playing with 2 fouls. Momcilovic off the mark, still 0 for. He has not scored in this game. He's 0 for 4. Frustration foul on Iowa State's Plata. That's his 3rd personal foul.
Look at this right here. I don't know if he called it, but it went in nonetheless. Cam Carr rising up, knocking it down, and using the glass.
Both teams are over the limit. So Powell at the line for Baylor in the 1-and-1. can't get the back in. It has been a slugfest in the first half. Largest lead of the night for Baylor. Point blank miss, Buchanan. Agbim, catch and release, no. Iowa State has missed 7 in a row. Heisey turning the corner.
Now with the offense struggling, I would love to see the ball go to Jefferson in that mid-paint area.
Lipsey throws up a wild one.
See if you can get him some mid-post touches. And right now, Cam Carr just saw the ball go in.
Carr left alone. Buckets. Timeout, Iowa State. Baylor has their largest lead after the Cameron Carr deadeye. It's an 8-0 Baylor run over the last 240. What's clicking for the Bears?
Cam Carr. I mean, that's what happens. He saw one go in, regardless if it was bank or not. He saw one go in, so now you gain that confidence to shoot this one. And yes, it was wide open due to the dribble penetration and Iowa State over collapsing, but right there, Cam Carr seeing it go in without using the glass. Massive confidence boost for Baylor right now.
11 points for Cameron Carr to lead all scorers. Iowa State scoring drought, almost 3 minutes. They've made just one of their last 13. How much did Tamin Lipsey's foul trouble bother the rhythm for this Iowa State team?
I think you said it right. I think the rhythm was thrown off by him being on the bench. Because typically shots that Momcilovic would have gotten early on in the game, he wasn't able to get those. So now he's thrown out of rhythm. He took a few, and they were good looks, but hasn't connected on one. But guys like Momcilovic, real shooters like that, aren't fazed by missing early shots.
Lipsey in attack mode. Big time finish, his first bucket.
That's when he's at his best, being able to attack, get downhill. You saw Cam Carr go through contact earlier. Lipsey is just as good at finishing through contact.
Lipsey's on the board. Momcilovic still scoreless for the Cyclones. Carr, heat check. Foul called against Skillings Jr. It's against Iowa State with the hook. Team foul number 8 on the Cyclones. They call it on Momcilovic. That is number 1 on the big guy. James Nagy at the line. Went 1 for 2, his first appearance of the season against TCU on Saturday. Misses the front end. Offensive rebound. Skillings Jr. fouled underneath.
And I think this is one thing that's really bothering this Iowa State squad is the way that Baylor is attacking the offensive glass is really causing problems for this Cyclone team right now.
Foul goes against Buchanan, his second. Skillings Jr., a 74% marksman from the stripe. Rolls it in. Sunday night, Justin Herbert leads the battle-tested Chargers against Drake May and the AFC East champion Patriots. Only one team will be left standing. It's Wild Card Weekend, powered by Verizon, Sunday, 7:30 Eastern on NBC and on Peacock. Playoff time in the NFL. Iowa State has been ice cold and the fouls piling up.
There we go. That's where you have to get the ball. That's where you have to get it to Jefferson.
Jefferson with the left bangs it in.
That's the area. If you can get Jefferson the ball in the mid-post, he does a lot of good. And not just scoring the ball, but if you bring a double, he can really facilitate. So I think that is the offense. That's where Iowa State is going to have to look to play through.
He's a very underrated passer. Top 6 in the league in assists. Baylor with an unforced error.
And if you don't send a double, he's talented enough to be able to score, and he has the size advantage at 6'9" over his 6'6" Dan Skillings. He causes a lot of problems. He's a mismatch problem. You should play through him.
He has numbers this season that only 2 other guys have had since 1996 when it comes to points, rebounds, and assists. Just a hair over 5 minutes before the half. Both of these teams really need a reset. Heisey, catch and shoot 3 in and out. And Iowa State from downtown just 1 for 7 in this first session. Carr bumping. Foul against Bateman on the floor. It will send Carr to the line. Team foul number 9. Make it number 10 against Iowa State.
That's just a great job right there by Cam Carr, driving the closeout. Whenever you as an offensive player receive a pass, the defense is the most vulnerable when they're forced to have to close out. So what do? You drive it, you put pressure on the defense, and if you cannot slide off of a closeout, you're going to get called on a foul on you 9 times out of 10.
21 points per game on 57% shooting from the floor. A rare miss from the line. Baylor's now just 7 for 13 from the stripe in this first half. Carr splits the pair. Baylor by 6. Carr has 12 points in this first half. Iowa State is a team with just 17. Jefferson flashing backdoor, throws it away.
And those are the rare mistakes that Jefferson makes. But Torrey doing a really good job getting backdoor position. They just couldn't execute.
Baylor throws it away. That's their 4th turnover.
And right now, James, if you're Iowa State, you're really not in a bad spot. You have not played good. It's no secret. You have not played well in the first half, and you're only down by 6. You're not in a bad spot. There's no need to panic right now if you're Iowa State.
I was thinking the same thing. I don't know that Iowa State could have a worse half, and they're still in the game. With all the fouls, with the poor shooting. Jefferson time. No look, Lipsy. Jefferson with 7 on the shot clock. Spin move, +1. Big time from Joshua Jefferson.
This is what we mean. He has the ability to be able to take over games. Good pump fake. The spin move to the inside hand finish right there. He's skilled, and it's things like this that he didn't do last year that he can do now, which is definitely boosted his draft stock. And it's one of the reasons why so many NBA scouts are here.
What is the biggest thing that he's doing this year that he didn't do last year?
And Dan Skillings, that's 2 bad, that's 2 horrible turnovers on underneath out of bounds that are completely inexcusable. And I know Scott Drew, me playing for that man, Scott Drew is going to be completely frustrated with those 2 horrible inbound plays.
Jefferson collects his own miss, throws it up, barely nicks the rim. Back-to-back turnovers for Baylor in backcourt. Getting sloppy with it, Najee. Carr rises up. Yesufu, short. Jefferson already in double digits on the glass, his 10th rebound. Jefferson taking over. Torre. Heisey. Rebound, Najee. Iowa State shooting less than 25% in this first half. Meanwhile, Baylor hasn't made a shot in over 3 minutes. Skillings Jr. nearly lost it in the corner, dashes baseline. Wild shot, Torre cleans it up for Iowa State. There has not been a whistle in a hot minute. Lipsy to the left, crafty shots.
That's so skilled, so pretty right there. They're changing their lives, but he's better than. So he said, why can't he be one of those guys? So that right there was the turning point, and I think that's why you see a more serious approach, game in, game out.
He's been all business. Agbim trying to end the Baylor drought. They've missed 5 in a row. And a foul goes against Jefferson on the inside. The 11th Iowa State foul in the half. Multiple players with more than 2. That's the first against Joshua Jefferson. Iowa State's lowest scoring half of the season was 25 at Iowa. College basketball on Peacock tonight, 8:30 Eastern. Arizona State at a top 10 BYU team led by A.J.D. Bonsa, the nation's leading scorer. On Saturday, Houston right here in Waco against this Baylor team, and Kansas State at Arizona State at 3 p.m. Eastern. Big 12 basketball. Less than 2 to play before the half. Baylor's led the entire way. Torre can't give Iowa State their first lead. Yesufu pulls the trigger. Torre tracks it down. Both teams below 30% from the floor. Both pacing for a season low for a half.
You got to get the ball to Mom Tulovich right now, especially with that size advantage.
Got Agbim on him. He hasn't scored in the contest, and he picks up an offensive foul.
And that's what you have to know as an offensive guy. Whenever you have the advantage, the first bump, the referee will let you slide. Take a look at this. The first bump, you're good. The second bump, if they fall, they're going to get the benefit of the doubt, and it's going the opposite way. You're only allowed 1 bump. Do I agree with it? Not necessarily, James. However, you have to know as an offensive player, you're only allowed 1 bump down there when you have the size advantage.
One of those unspoken rules in college basketball. Drive and kick, a good look. Williams collects his own miss, probing, can't deliver. Iowa State on the attack. They fuel the break ahead to Nelson. Lost it out of bounds. And Iowa State turnover, their 6th in the half.
That's not a smart play right there by Torre. You could have been in the potential 2-for-1 situation. And that's just not a good pass. He didn't even have the angle right there. He should have just pulled that out, set up their offense.
A freshman trying to do too much. Quick hands. He is hounding Williams out front.
But that's why you live with the offense and mistakes, because of what he can do on the defensive side.
40 seconds to play in the half. Tough shot. Offensive rebound. Powell lost it. Jefferson wrenches it loose. Iowa State can almost hold for the final shot.
Altenberger telling him to go at 8 on the shot clock.
Who takes this shot for Iowa State?
Jefferson.
It's him. Got it. A 3. Yesufu half-court heave. No. Halftime is here. And with the Jefferson 3, Iowa State in the first half for Iowa State. Start of the second session. Iowa State, a clean sheet. The fouls were piling up. Lipsy only played 11 minutes in the first half. He had 2. Buchanan with 2. Plato with 3. Torre spinning, bothered at the rim. Tip, no. Right back to him. Finishes.
That's where he can do his work. When he cuts, if you allow him to face cut you and get that position, typically good things happen because he has the size and the wingspan to be able to finish over the top.
Joshua Jefferson hit a 3 at the buzzer to give Iowa State their first lead of the game at intermission. A foul out on the arc with 5 on the shot clock. Goes against Buchanan, and that is his 3rd personal. Plata checks in. He has 3 fouls.
I think that's one thing that Baylor's done a really good job of. On the ball screen coverage, when the big of Iowa State hard hedges, attack the hip and draw that foul.
Yesufu from the corner. Plata snatches it for the Cyclones. Baylor is 3 for 18 from beyond the arc. Iowa State with a lead, and their leading scorer on the season, Momcilovic, with the ball, has not scored. Still searching for his first points, and he has it.
Ooh. He's so good at that turnaround fade, and at 6'9", he always has that size advantage, has a high release. So that extra separation on the fadeaway makes it so tough to get a clean contest.
He can score in bunches for this Iowa State team. Leads the nation in made threes. 10 to shoot for Baylor. They throw it away. Lipsy ahead of the pack, and they grab him and foul him. Agbim commits the personal, his 2nd.
And I'll tell you what, that was a great foul because Lipsy would have had a layup, and this was a great shot. Look at the separation he creates. It's so hard to get a clean contest. And this right here is a great foul. And the NBA, that's a clear path. In college basketball, not the same thing.
Does Momcilovic need to hunt his shot more in this half?
I wouldn't say that. I would say let the game come to him.
Yeah.
Let the game come to him. Don't be overly aggressive.
Jefferson underneath, banging. Tapped around. Lipsy pulls the trigger. Strikes a 3.
Right there, if you go under, Lipsy is a more than capable shooter.
And just like that, Iowa State has an...
You have to value these possessions. You have to get good looks and not force up bad shots. Value these possessions, or this game could get out of control.
Carr is on the bench, so is it Yesufu?
It could be.
Draws a foul. Going to the line, the freshman trying to will his team to victory. 2nd among Big 12 freshmen, behind only A.J. Bonsa in scoring. And the foul is against Jefferson. That is his 2nd personal.
That's a great possession right there. That's what I mean by valuing it. Be intentional, get the ball to the paint, play inside out. Don't force up bad shots, especially when teams are on runs. Whenever you're going up against a team and they are on a run, you have to pay that much more attention to every single possession that you get the ball on offense.
Baylor, another miss at the line. 10 for 17 from the stripe. The top 3 in the league at the foul line coming in. Jefferson shovels it. Skillings Jr. on the attack for Baylor. That was the 7th Iowa State miscue. Agbin bumping, wanting to whistle, and he receives it. 3rd Iowa State foul. It comes on the floor, and it's on Momcilovic.
And that's something I'm surprised we have not seen much. When Momcilovic is on the perimeter guarding a smaller guard, he struggles to move laterally. So if I'm Baylor and I have Agboom, if I have Williams on the perimeter with Momcilovic guarding them, I would force Momcilovic to guard in space.
Picks up his third personal. Checks out of the game with his team up by 7. Iowa State has 3 players with 3 fouls. Yesufu, Iowa State with a steal, 8th Baylor turnover. Torre might have got away with a walk. Torre turns the corner underneath and a dunk from Plata.
And off of that hard hedge, if you're the backside tag defender right there for Baylor, you have to slide over to alleviate that easy dunk right there by Plata.
The freshman with the dime. Bouncing backdoor, a kick will stop play with Iowa State leading by 9, stretching their run, bridging the 2 halves together, 17-2.
Let's go. Take a look at this right here. This is the guy right here that you have to pay attention to. So on this pick and roll, when Plata grows and goes to the rim, if Isaac Williams in the corner does not step over, then you will get an easy flush.
Iowa State so connected on the offensive end. Returned 3 starters from last year's team. Miss from Skillings Jr. at the iron. Baylor's only made 6 field goals all night. Pocket pass, Lipsy collects. Hard foul against Williams, the 4th. Sends us to our first media timeout here in the half. Iowa State by 9 on the road.
Shots at the rim, they've gotten what they wanted to. They just haven't been able to convert. And you can say, yes, a part of it is the Iowa State defense, but I really think more so it's just Baylor. I like this right here. You go zone by Scott Drew. Maybe try to throw Iowa State off, get them out their offensive rhythm.
Baylor operates about 25% of the time defensively in the zone, and Nate Heisey buries a 3. Iowa State by a dozen.
And he doesn't really shoot it well. Only 25% on the year. But if you allow him to make shots, you allow Jefferson to get in the passing lanes, this game can get ugly. And this is what I mean. We talk about full circle. Talk about at the beginning, at the open. They need a point guard to be able to control the game and handle situations like this when things get out of control. And Isaac Williams got bailed out right there. He was a little out of control, but tough bucket. They needed that. But this is when I think Baylor needs that point guard. They need a guy to be able to step up, control the tempo, dictate the offense.
Isaac Williams stops the bleeding for the Baylor Bears, who have made 7 field goals tonight. It was starting to snowball. They're in the zone. Iowa State trying to dissect it with 7 to shoot. Torre swivels into the corner. High dribble, it's a carry and a turnover. Last time out on the floor, listen to Iowa State coach T.J. Otzelberger. Told us at shoot-around to describe the identity of his team. He says, we pressure the ball, we commit to rebounding, and we attack the paint. His team's made their last 4 shots. Yesufu, +1.
And that's what they need right there. That's a good pass by Isaac Williams. Although it was deflected, it still got to Yesufu and put him in a really good position to be able to get this and one. Take a look at this off this pick and roll. Backside is wide open. Isaac Williams is the one guy on the team that can really see that. And although it wasn't clean, it was still good enough to be able to get 2 points.
Fouls against Plata. That is his 4th. Yesufu's free throw jumps out. Baylor 10 for 18 from the strike. Leaving points at the line. Down by 10 on their home floor. Iowa State's taken twice as many shots as the Bears in this second half. Bouncing backdoor. Carr with quick hands. Lead pass deflected. Yesufu controls. Tripped. Fouled. They call it on Lipsy, and that is his third personal foul.
And I think getting out in transition could be really good for the Bears. If you can get stops, if you can secure the defensive rebound and really push the ball, you have enough length, enough athleticism to be able to score in transition. That might be what gets them out of this drought.
They're really strong on the wings. Yesufu. Step back three. Momcilovic with the rebound. Heisey lets it fly, rips another three.
Very, very streaky. He saw one go in a few possessions ago. And typically at this level, when a guy makes one, that can lead to two, which can lead to three. So despite the numbers, you better know where he is.
Foul underneath the basket against Iowa State. Iowa State's connected on all 3 threes in this second half, and Coach T.J. Otzelberger said at shoot-around their X factor tonight was Nate Heisey off the bench, and he has brought it in this second half. Foul was on Torre, his second. Yesufu step through. Oh. Slam on the follow. Powell brings the hammer. Torre in the paint, denied underneath. Williams with the block. Baylor basketball.
Isaac Williams is such a tough defender, and I think what makes him extremely active and extremely tough on one side, as we see this bucket right here, this putback dunk by Caden Powell. No backside crackdown. You allow your big to be able to get that flush. But back to my point on Isaac Williams, I think what makes him so tough on the defensive side is his athleticism. I mean, he can really stay in front of the basketball, but when you try to elevate and get the shot, he can elevate as well. His timing on shot attempts is really, really high level, especially for a guard. You don't see that much.
Nice pass. Baylor's within 9. Whistled for a foul. Goes against Williams. Isaac Williams, the fourth.
This is a good decision. If the big steps up, you have to drop it down. If nobody steps over, get yourself an assist.
Baylor shooting much better in this second half. 4 for 8, 50%. Iowa State's made 7 of 10. Bateman a deep three. Sprays right. Heisey offensive rebound. Gets around his defender. Corner pocket. Slides across the iron. Carr lets it go. Fight for the rebound. Foul underneath against Iowa State. Timeout on the floor. We've hit the under 12. Iowa State on the road, lead it by 9.
Touchdown! Chargers.
Let's go!
Patriots.
Unbelievable.
Who survives
To the defensive energy. I mean, they're getting stops, and this is a Cyclone team that when they get stops, their defense propels their offense, not the other way around.
They're one of the best teams in the country in points off turnovers. They're 4th in the NCAA, and they've outscored Baylor in points off turnovers 13-2 tonight. Both teams have turned it over exactly 9 times. Powell has trimmed it to a 7-point deficit.
And this is when, if you're Baylor, you have to take pride on the defensive side of things. Down by 7, 3-possession ball game.
Jefferson powers in. Bateman wide open. Jefferson 1-on-4, sticks it.
That's just inexcusable. You have 4 bodies in the paint, and nobody blocks out Jefferson. Like you said, 1-on-4, and he still comes away with 2 points.
He's got 13 rebounds tonight. Ticky-tack foul called on the Cyclones out on the perimeter.
Let's go back to this last play. Shot goes up. Well, maybe he does block out, but Jefferson's so strong, he just gets around it. You got to do a better job of being able to seal out your block right there.
6'9", Iowa State lists him at 240 pounds. Williams way off on the free throw. Bad miss. The free throw woes continue for the Bears. Torrey curling, one-on-one to his spot. Collected by Carr. Baylor has numbers. Carr whips it in the corner. A 3 is an air ball. And a foul against Baylor over the back. They call it on Powell.
And that's interesting because you had 2 referees over there. Neither one of them blew their whistle, but Tony Padilla had a good look at it and saw it from his point of view. So he stepped up and made that call, although he was on the opposite side of the floor. Let's take a look. There is a little bit of an extension. Whenever you extend your arm, typically the referee will blow their whistle. It wasn't the most egregious foul, but he did extend his arm.
Jefferson and Momcilovic playing hot potato with it. Iowa State so poised. Shot clock at 8. Jefferson has the guard on him. A huge height advantage. Skillings Jr. flies in to clear.
Right there, I think Jefferson settled a little bit. I think he could have got to his spots like you saw him do earlier, but right there, just settle for that turnaround fade.
9-point Iowa State lead. Ratai from the elbow. Sputters off. Skillings Jr. Double pump. Scores. No whistle.
That's the toughness that Dan Skillings brings to this Baylor team. That's just the I want this rebound, I want this bucket.
His first field goal of the night and a Skillings Jr. steal. Nine on the timer. Agdam working on Heisey. Takes him to the foul line. Williams has to put it up. Bailed out with 2 seconds on the shot clock. A foul called on Iowa State. It's on Momcilovic, and that is number 4 on Iowa State's leading scorer. 3 players with 4 fouls. Plata and Buchanan also have 4. The entire Iowa State front line in some serious foul trouble.
That's one area we talked about it earlier. Momcilovic is on the perimeter, guarding one of the smaller guards from Baylor. Baylor has to put their head down and drive him.
It's a 6-point Iowa State lead. Williams the 4th, a hidden gem in the portal. Transfer from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Goes 1 for 2. Foul against Baylor over the back on the rebound. Much to the displeasure of Dan Skillings Jr., who picks up his 3rd. Each team with a double figures scorer. Jefferson, a game-high 16 for Iowa State. Carr has 12 for Baylor. Back to the well. Jefferson is fouled. Goes against Powell. Make it Michael Ratai. And that is his 4th personal.
When you're guarding down low, Jefferson is too good to allow him to get any type of angle. If you're a tie, you have to play straight up. Do not allow a guy like Jefferson to be able to get that angle because he's going to attack it and create an advantage every single time.
How do you slow a guy like Joshua Jefferson, who is so versatile, down?
You just have to be extremely disciplined on the defensive side. You have to understand he's going to make tough shots. He's going to make high-level plays. You can't get discouraged when he does that.
He's been the story in this one. Pushes the lead to 8. His 19th career double-double. Baylor needs a basket. Carr's been quiet. Rockets out of bounds off of a Cyclone. Carr has 12, 3 for 10 from the floor, but he hasn't seen the ball go through the hoop in a while.
I think this would be a great time for him to start getting going, especially down the stretch.
Heisey, Iowa State with the steal. Lipsy tries to drop it off. And it's Baylor basketball. Last touched by a Cyclone. Iowa State hasn't made a field goal in almost 3 minutes. But they still lead by 8. A rock fight tonight in Waco. Agbin pulls the trigger, crashes in a 3. Lipsy off balance, sticks it.
That's how you answer right there. Agbin hits a big 3, gets the crowd into it. Taylor Lipsy telling him to sit down.
We've seen it time and time again throughout the course of his career. 4-year starter at the point for Iowa State. Local product from Ames. Agbin stops on a dime. Rebound Jefferson, number 14 tonight. Jefferson fouled. Sends us to the under 8. Cyclones by 7 here on the road. Trying to move to,
only 26% from the field and 19% from the three-point line. This is very uncharacteristic for Baylor also.
8-point Iowa State lead. Jefferson has put this team on his back. One for 2. Cam Carr has only attempted 1 field goal in this second half. Baylor's leading scorer at 21 per night is on the bench. Yesufu doubled in the hot corner. Timeout on the floor to save the possession. We're back at 30. Iowa State by 8 here in Waco. Florida Gators quarterback in the portal on his official visit. His dad played here at Baylor from 97 to 01. A 3 from Agbin, in and out. What an addition that would be for the Bears football team.
Man. Sawyer Robinson, the DJ Lagway, you know, he didn't have a great year this year. That's still a high-level quarterback.
Corner 3. Baylor has numbers. Agbin circles it out. Under 7 to play. Williams lost the dribble. Needs some help. 10 to shoot. Williams throws it off the leg of a defender. Agben hoists a three. A discombobulated possession from the Bears.
And that's the time where you count on a guy like Isaac Williams to get everything under control and get you into your offense. But right there, like you said, extremely discombobulated.
Lipsy, this is where your veteran point guard can take over.
That's so tough right there from Lipsy. Get to your spot, rise up over the top, try to seek out the contact. Just get a bucket.
Iowa State by 10. Williams, stop and start, draws a foul.
Take a look at this right here. When Lipsy gets downhill, he's so hard to stop. And Skillen's good, discipline. Just put your hands up and not get baited into the and one.
He is the complete package, has an insane assist-to-turnover ratio. 65 assists on the season. Only 9 turnovers. 9 turnovers for Tamin Lipsy in 13 games played.
You know, I said it the other day. Even though it looks a lot different and they're not nearly the same type of player, but the assist-to-turnover ratio is very reminiscent of a guy, Monte Morris, a guy who I played against for one season. Both of them are just high-level players that you can never speed up.
Love the comp. Lipsy, teardrop, floats in, back-to-back baskets.
And now, granted, they're not the same type of play. They have a completely different play style. But overall, they take care of the basketball and make everybody around them better.
Williams underneath, circling, partially blocked, out of bounds, stays on this end. They look different, they play different, but on paper, very similar. The assist to turnovers, the lack of three-point shooting, they just, neither players took or take a lot of threes in the case of those two. Iowa State leads by 11. Baylor with possession. James Najee is checked in for the 3rd time for Baylor. Agben stops on a dime. Baylor needs that three. Big hitter.
If you're Baylor, you have to make your push. You have to make your push right now.
Just the 8th three of the year for Michael Rataj. Under 5 minutes to go, Lipsy bumped and fouled. And when Iowa State leads with 5 minutes to play, they have won 33 straight games. Foul goes against Yesufu. That is his 3rd. Lipsy at the line. That was team foul number 7. This is a 1-and-1. Carr has it on the move. Baylor in overdrive, down by 8, less than 5 to play, a foul on the floor.
And I think that's what you have to do if you're Baylor. You just have to drive the ball and put pressure on this Iowa State defense, because every single time they touch you, you're going to the free throw line. So if you can convert at the foul line, you can slowly climb your way in this game, but you have to drive closeouts.
Baylor coach Scott Drew is going to pull his hair out when he sees the free throw numbers. Sneaks in, and with that make, Baylor's 15 of 26 tonight from the stripe. Iowa State leads it 53-46 here. Upcoming college basketball on Peacock. Tuesday, Marquette and St. John's. And over in the Big Ten, Indiana. What a job Darren DeVries has done there at Michigan State. Back to the Big East with Georgetown and Creighton, the nightcap. 6-point game. Can Iowa State close out another? Lipsy with a lane, miss, stick back, no, whistle, foul on Baylor. Goes against James Najee, that is his first personal. Team foul number 9. Still 1-and-1 time for Lipsy, who just missed the front end. Barely played in the first half. He picked up 2 early fouls 3 minutes into the game. $14 points with that make. Hit them both. Timeout on the floor. Iowa State leads by 8. They burn a TO to set up their defense, trying to close out another win.
Finish games, and that's something that Wes Miller stressed to us in the shoot-around. But I think that you see that all the time.
Yeah.
Because of the lack of continuity with the roster turnover, it's hard to really close out these types of games. But Iowa State does a good job of that.
Yesufu downhill, wild shot off balance. Offensive rebound. Ratai. Short. Yesufu all alone. Hangs and hits.
Thank God for the offensive glass and second chance points, because Baylor has made their living off of that tonight.
They have 19 second chance points, keeping them in it. Shooting 26% for the game. Jefferson banging, offensive foul. That's number 3 on Joshua Jefferson. Sends us to immediate timeout. We've hit the under for Iowa State to close and for Baylor to rally.
For Iowa State to close, I think the biggest thing is guarding on the defensive side without fouling. Because every single time you foul, every single time Baylor drives, it seems like they end up at the free throw line. Iowa State has to guard without fouling. Baylor, I think it's Cam Carr time.
Iowa State is tied a season high in fouls. Carr has not scored in this second half. Single digits on the timer. Agdon, 5 to shoot. Carr, offensive foul. He hooked him.
Yeah, now that one's obvious. That's a clear hook. And for a guy that can score the ball like Cam Carr, you know that you can't get away with this.
First foul on Carr. Iowa State Lipsy freed up for a 3. Jefferson long rebound, and Iowa State will reset. Jefferson on a clear out. He's been the man. 5 to shoot. Lipsy a 3. Pins it.
I think you have to make an adjustment. When you go under a ball screen, when it's Lipsy, and he already hits one, he feels confident to shoot the next one. So you have to make that adjustment, and that's not a good shot.
Underneath, Najee cleans it up.
But it ended up working out in their favor regardless. But when Lipsy has the basketball and he's coming off these ball screens, he's already hit 2. He's shown you that he can knock it down tonight. You have to make an adjustment. Fight over the ball screen.
Lipsy, hard pass in the corner. Torre bumping. Shot erased underneath. Baylor pulls it out of the pack. And an injury timeout. James Najee underneath the basket on the opposite end. Still shaking off the rust. Had not played competitive basketball in 7 months until about a week and a half ago. What's your take on the James Najee situation? Drafted in 23, never signed a contract, played in the NBA Summer League, went over to Europe, played professionally there, like everybody else who's playing college basketball. I think the main difference with Najee is, number 1, that he got drafted, but number 2, he never took an NBA dollar, so he's really no different than a lot of these other guys.
Put me on spot, huh?
Yeah. I want your take.
Well, I think we have to realize that Baylor didn't do anything illegal. They played it by the rules. And right here, this is a good block, but they played it by the rules. They didn't do anything wrong. So I think it's extremely unfair that when Najee went to TCU and every single time he gets inserted into the ball game, he gets booed. That's unfair to the kid. He did nothing wrong. He is not the bad guy in this scenario. I think we do need clearer guidelines and clearer rules on what's acceptable versus what's not acceptable, because a lot of coaches, when you ask them, when you talk to them, they don't understand what the playing field really is. We need an even playing field across the whole lay of the land. So I think that's my biggest thing. But I do think that that's not a good pass right there.
Throws it down.
Torrey, that's what he does. He can jump the passing lanes. But my last thing is, I do think we'll see a domino effect moving forward. If there's no guidelines, if there's no hard boundaries, I think it's only going to get worse, though.
He's the first. He won't be the last.
Yes.
Very well said. Agbem a three, around and out. Powell offensive rebound, half hook through. Inside of 90 seconds, Iowa State by 7.
This is the time where you can't play the score. You have to play the possessions. This is a 3-possession ball game, so you just have to get stops.
Lipsy hip checked by Powell. The quickness from the point guard, too much for the big.
And that's what good guards understand how to do. Whenever a big jumps out and he blitzes the ball screen, if you can just attack his hip, you'll typically get the foul.
Lipsy has been the man in the second half. Connects on another free throw. He's up to 19 points, a quiet 19. Only has 2 assists. He was bothered by foul trouble. He has played just 26 minutes tonight. Trying to put this game on ice. It's a 9-point edge for Iowa State on the road. They've lost 10 of the last 11 here in Waco. Agbem, scooper no. Yesufu follow through. And Iowa State burns a timeout with 53.8 to play, leading by 7. Lipsy this half, he has 20 points on the night.
He's been terrific.
And a true road win at Purdue in the non-conference. Heisey, baseballs ahead. Lipsy like a receiver, drops it in.
Was that a dunk? I don't know if I've ever seen Taylor Lipsy get up that high. Was that? Are we counting that as a dunk or no?
A pass, a catch. Looks like a finger roll.
He pointed towards the ground like that counts as a dunk.
Baylor had a quick answer, but Iowa State in control ahead to Momcilovic. 4 points tonight for the 18 per game scorer. He was quiet. Lipsy and Jefferson led the way.
Let's take a look at this right here. First off, this is a great pass by Heisey. Let's see. It's a better angle. I mean,
What do you define as a dunking? Hand touches rim, but the ball slipped on the way up. And the ball was above hand as it went through the net.
He was over the rim, so you might have to count that as his one. How many times will Lipsy ever be in a scenario like that? So I'm going to count that as his one dunk.
Okay. All right. Carr at the line for the Bears. Monster half in the first half. Disappeared in the second. Had 12 points at the break. He has 15 now for the game. Lipsy gets clobbered. This Iowa State team has Oklahoma State on Saturday. Then on Tuesday, they go to Allen Fieldhouse to play Kansas. They're at Cincinnati after that, then UCF. And then that second trip contest against Oklahoma State. That one in Stillwater on the 24th. What do you like most about the Cyclones?
I like the versatility. I mean, they can score at a bunch of different positions in a bunch of different ways. If one guy, you see Momcilovic, if he doesn't really have it that night, Jefferson can step up, Heisey can step up, Lipsey can get buckets. So you have a bunch of different guys who can pick up the slack when one of their brothers is down.
Well, King, I can report that the official stat crew has verified that the Tamin Lipsey shot was a dunk. It's officially a dunk. Tamin Lipsey with the slam.
That has to be his first dunk of his career.
Here for it. Iowa State by 10. Carr weaving his way through. He throws it down.
Now that's a dunk. That's a real dunk.
8-point Iowa State lead. 20 seconds left. They pitch it ahead. Jefferson. Baylor will commit the foul. The Bears have a brutal stretch coming up. They play at Oklahoma State coming up on Tuesday. They've got Houston here on Saturday. And then after Oklahoma State, at Kansas, Texas Tech back here in Waco on the 20th, and TCU on the 24th.
And the game against Houston is going to be another battle in which you're playing a team who defensively, you know what they bring to the table. So you have to be able to, the biggest thing about the Big 12 play, James, is you're 0-2. You have to forget about that. You have to continue to look forward and continue to look at the next game. Because if you drop your head, if you get sad, and you allow this two-game skid to really be able to affect you, right, if they lose this game, now all of a sudden that 2 turns into 3, the 3 turns into 4. And you can put yourself in a really tough spot to make the tournament.
The tip in on the follow will seal it for Iowa State with 6 seconds to play. Carr races ahead, throws it up at the buzzer. Iowa State wins it. A 10-point win on the road in this league does not come easy. And the Cyclones are